Coming up on Mountain News this morning, officials say at least 81 people have died and more are missing after catastrophic flash flooding in Texas. And one Kentucky veteran enjoyed the 4th of July with a new roof over his head after facing years of issues.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. Happy Monday to you. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this July 7th. It's 4:59 this morning and time to check on in with meteorologist Eric Dean for a look at that forecast this morning. Eric, I think it was pretty nice out as I left my apartment today.
Oh, we had a beautiful start to the day, had a beautiful weekend as well. We had temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s with plenty of sunshine, but that's going to come to an end as we go throughout the week. Numbers for yesterday played out like this, made it to 89 after a morning star of 70. 85 and 66 is where we should be for this time of year. 94 was the record high set back in 1988. Go back to 1997, had the record low of 56. No rain yesterday. Right now we're sitting at 70. Our dew point's at 68, so some places seeing a little patchy fog. Humidity is sitting up at 94%. Our feels like temperature is also at 70. Other temperatures around the area in the 60s and 70s. Look at Louisville already at 5 a.m. 79 degrees. We're sitting at 74 in Lexington, 75 Moorhead, 69 in Irvin, 68 in Boonville, 69 in Manchester. All is quiet for the most part on live pinpoint Doppler radar. We are seeing a little bit of a renegade shower to the southeast of Pikeville. Same story over towards portions of Jackson County, but that's it. If you have plans tonight, though, make sure you take the rain gear as rain chances are in the forecast. I'll tell you how long those will last coming up in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. But right now, the current time is 5:01. We'll toss it back to Amelia.
Thanks, Eric. We've learned the name of the man who died in an ATV crash in Harlan County Saturday. That crash happened at Everett's ATV Park. The Harlan County coroner has identified the man killed as 22-year-old Brady Castle. He says Castle was driving his father on the ATV when it got too close to the edge of the road and flipped. Castle was pronounced dead at the scene. The coroner says his father was not hurt. At least one person is dead after a crash on US 119 in Harlan County. It happened just before 7 in the Cumberland community Sunday night. State troopers didn't say how many people died. Multiple folks were flown to the hospital with serious injuries. The road was closed because of that crash, and we will work to update you as we learn more information. Later this morning, we do expect to get an update from Texas officials on the catastrophic flash flooding from over the weekend. According to National Weather Service data, extreme rainfall caused the Guadalupe River to swell more than 20 feet in less than 1 hour early Friday. So far, officials there say at least 82 people died and more than 40 people are missing. CBS's Nadia Cavazos has more from Texas on the victims and the search and rescue operations.
There was so much screaming.
This morning, harrowing stories are emerging from survivors of the deadly flash flooding in central Texas over the weekend. Kerrville RV park owner Lorena Guillen said she watched helplessly as rushing waters washed through the campground.
There were dozens of vehicles just floating away.
Officials say there have been more than 160 rescues by helicopter, and search and rescue teams and hundreds of volunteers are combing the banks of the Guadalupe River.
It would bring me some closure knowing definitively what happened instead of continuously holding out, wondering if the one I love is still out there.
Texas officials say more than 80 people have died, and among the more than 40 missing are nearly a dozen children and counselor from the all-girls Camp Mystic. Sunday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott toured the devastated campground.
It was nothing short of horrific to see what those young children went through, and we will remain 100% dedicated, searching for every single one of the children.
As the community holds out hope, questions are growing over the lack of early warnings.
There's going to be a full review, of this so we can make sure that we focus on future preparedness.
Yesterday, President Donald Trump pushed back on claims that cuts to the National Weather Service may have impacted the situation.
No, they did not. They did. This is a 100-year catastrophe, and it's just so horrible to watch.
The president has approved a major disaster declaration, and he says he plans to visit Texas this week. Nidia Cavazos, CBS News.
The president said yesterday he will likely visit the state on Friday. Meanwhile, the National Weather Service says Central Texas is still under threat of more flash flooding as slow-moving thunderstorms travel through the area this week. Governor Andy Beshear discussed that devastating Texas flooding yesterday morning on CNN's State of the Union. He expressed remorse for the Lone Star State and discussed the Commonwealth's experience with deadly flooding.
Well, to the people of Texas, Kentucky loves you. We know what you're going through. In July of 2022, we lost 45 Kentuckians, each one a child of God, to devastating flooding. What these families are going through right now is just pure hell. And what they need is the entire country to wrap their arms around them.
10 campers are still missing as that death toll continues to climb. In Owsley County, a former coach was arrested on rape and sodomy charges. Denatrius Pittman was charged Tuesday. The situation stems from an investigation that was initiated into a reported sexual misconduct incident involving a minor. An arrest citation says Pittman was in a position of authority while engaging in a sexual relationship with an Owsley County student. School officials say Pittman assisted with coaching basketball. Administrators with the Owsley County School District provided this statement to WYMT about the matter. They say, quote, the Owsley County School District is aware of a former assistant basketball coach being investigated for allegedly having an inappropriate relationship with a minor. The allegations are being investigated by the Kentucky State Police, and they have the district's full cooperation, end quote. The trial of Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson will resume today. Houck is charged with killing his ex-girlfriend Crystal Rogers 10 years ago. Lawson is accused of being complicit to it. Houck and Lawson's defense wrapped their case on Thursday with closing arguments and deliberations both on the horizon. Reporter Kristen Foote is breaking down how we got here.
Saturday marked 10 years since Rogers' mother reported her as missing. The body of the Bardstown mother of 5 has never been found.
This trial has been taking place in Bowling Green after a judge ruled that because of its publicity, it needed to be moved out of Nelson County. Because of the holiday weekend, court hasn't been in session since Thursday. So big takeaways from that last day of testimony. One defense witness, a former LMPD homicide detective, Denny Butler, emphasized no search done in the last 10 years has yielded a clear sign of Rogers, implying a lack of evidence. One discovery seemed promising, a pair of women's underwear and clothes unearthed from a subdivision Houck helped build. But a DNA profile was never developed, so Crystal Rogers' DNA can't be included or excluded from the evidence. Prosecutors then asked Butler if every homicide case produces trace evidence or DNA. He said no, not every case does, but it's unlikely that it would not yield something. Our Wave legal analyst, Leland Holbert, talked about what all this could bring into the third week of the trial.
I think closing arguments will go along those lines of the defense saying they just didn't prove it. There's not enough evidence. You can't send someone to prison for murder and convict them because there's just not enough evidence. And the prosecution can say, well, there's a reason there's not enough evidence because they hid everything. They're skilled. They planned this out. There are multiple people. It wasn't just a one-man shoddy job.
Closing arguments start tomorrow in Bowling Green. Deliberations are scheduled to start Tuesday. And once we learn the verdict, we'll share that update on air and online at wave3.com. Kirsten Foote, Wave News.
Well, we will continue updating you on the trial throughout the week, and we will share that verdict on air and online once we learn. One Kentucky veteran enjoyed the 4th of July with a new roof over his head after facing years of issues. Army veteran Timothy Nichols has been dealing with roof issues since a storm tore his roof apart. Nichols says he'd been saving money for more than 1 year, but thanks to Dun-Dry Roofing and Owens Corning, Nichols was gifted a new roof for free. Timothy says he can now breathe a sigh of relief.
Literally the day before Bone Dry came out, our AC went out. And that basically ate up our savings for what we were planning on doing for roof. We have, AC, especially with the summer heat, and thanks to Bone Dry and Owens Corning, we have a new roof that we don't have to plan to save for the next couple of years.
This is the 4th free roof Bone Dry Roofing and Owens Corning have donated to a veteran. Well, thanks for getting your day started with us on Mountain News this morning at 5.